Okay, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Monday morning. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It does really help out. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you do go and hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any uploads or streams in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. You can find the link to that at the top of the chat. And also in the description below, you find updates there regarding Elevating Traders. Join the community, chat with us, share trading ideas. I'm there as well, sharing ideas there too. So if you want to chat, make sure you go and check it out. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well today. Yes, Moya, we'll go take a look at oil first. We'll go through USD markets, take a look at the dollar, the DXY, gold and silver, and then yes, I will take a look at oil. Of course, if anyone has any other requests, drop in the chat and we will go through it. And also, if you do want me to look at a specific time frame, let me know as well, because I'm gonna look at my normal time frames. But if you have a particular time frame you want me to look at, let me know. But yeah, we'll start with the dollar, which looks like it is very bullish at the moment, and it is. It's creating new highs, breaking the highs, and at the moment, it's a very clear breakout of that weekly range we had for the past couple of years in this area here. So the highs over there roughly, lows down here. And off the back end of last year, we had a breakout, and now price has kind of really seen that momentum pick up the pace. So with this clear breakout, the next big level for the DXY is all the way back at 113, 114. So for the foreseeable future, I'm looking at heavy longs for the USD. Any downside I see, I'm expecting that just to be a retracement. Of course, if you were to crash back underneath the range high, then of course, that's no longer retracement. That could be a big fake out for a bigger sell. So if that's the case, I'll reanalyze. But until we do something like that, which at this moment in time looks pretty unlikely, any downside I see, I'm expecting it just to be a pullback for price to go higher. So I'm very, very bullish on the USD, short term, medium term, and long term, at least till we get back to 113. Then we can start to discuss. But at the moment, everything's looking pretty bullish, clearing out the highs down the left very well, and so on and so forth. So the plan is to look for some pullbacks. Now, I would want to see a bit more upside for me to consider a break me test of the high here. We've just about poked our heads above the resistance here, which is nice. But for me to have a look for a retest of that, I want to see a bit more commitment above that high. And then I'll start to consider some retest of this high here. I still do like this high over here. Should we have a much deeper correction for whatever reason this week, we may go and do that. I still like that area. And there is that consolidation just underneath the high as well, which could prove to be a very nice level to buy from. So a few levels I'm looking at. For me to consider the retest of the high, like I said, I need price to push on a little bit further. Then I'll consider the retest of the high. But for now, I do like the range here. And I also do like that level of resistance in the 4-hour chart just below 108.6. But the idea is that we're looking for downside to find buying opportunities and take it higher. Excuse me. And of course, looking at Euro USD, we're literally looking at price doing the exact opposite of that. And it is doing the exact opposite, of course, taking out lows. And again, if you go to the weekly chart of Euro, zoom out a little bit, you can see exactly what price is doing. Lovely support there. We've broken through that. Lovely resistance. We've broken through that. Where's the next big level for Euro USD? It's all the way down here. So again, we could see Euro for 2025 mostly be seeing a lot of downside, similar to what we got in the back end of 2022 or throughout most of 2022 anyway. Really heavy selling pressure, lower lows, lower highs. Hopefully we see something like that over the next few weeks, few months here for Euro. But at the moment in time, everything's still pretty bearish. So expecting just pullbacks and more downside. The 4-hour chart is littered with lower highs, which is great as long as we keep that up. It keeps me bearish here on the 4-hour chart. So again, as I discussed on the weekly analysis, if you haven't checked it out, feel free to go do so. I do like this level here for a breaking me test since it was a very sturdy level of support. We haven't yet to use it as resistance yet. Price did break very comfortably above that level last week and then broke back underneath. So I wasn't really respecting it as resistance. So there is that possibility for a bigger pullback. Test that same area, find the next lower high, in this bearish sequence. So high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And again, there as well is probably some nice trend line confluence, roughly just connecting the dots there and expecting another drop. And at least for this week anyway, back to wherever the lows are. Let's say if we pull back from here, then that's going to be the next logical target, even though we're expecting price to drop a lot further, all the way back down to 0.96 in the long run. But yeah, Euro USD looking very bearish, breaking lows well. This is definitely my preferred area, 1.035. If we do have a deeper pullback, I will look at this area here again. That was the area I was looking from last week, but we just missed out on that retest, unfortunately. But it's still a valid area to get involved with. So I would look for that should we break through this area here. But at the moment, yeah, we're going to see if price can at least get there first, and then we'll see how price reacts. But for now, very bearish on euro, expecting a lot more downside, and pound still is falling at this moment in time. Look at that lovely drop there past few days. Really powerful move. Pound is looking very weak, and of course with USD being strong, it's a recipe for disaster for pound USD, and we're sliding very heavily. There is a big level of support just underneath us at 1.205. I said this was the target for the week. It looks like we're just going to hit there by Tuesday potentially. Yeah, looking for pullbacks for pound. We've taken out some major lows on the daily chart as well, which is this low, taking that out very well. So again, as I mentioned on the weekly analysis, just looking for pullbacks and more shorts. I mentioned two areas. One of them is looking pretty unrealistic now. This level here was my first level to short from. And yeah, I don't see us pulling back into that level, at least not this week anyway. And even this level is a bit of a challenge now, because in fairness, where did we open from here? So pullback looked pretty realistic. Monday, Tuesday, see a bit of upside. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday, we continue back down. But of course, Monday, we've seen a big push. I don't think it's too far-fetched to expect a pullback to that area. Might not happen all in 1 week, but it might happen over the course of a few days to get there. But again, the idea is same as euro. We've got consecutive lower highs here. One over there, second, third, fourth, looking for that next one, lower high, and then some shorts back into the low. But the idea is with pound, ride the momentum. We're seeing heavy moves to the downside. Sure, there will be some pullback opportunities, but momentum lies to the downside. So that's going to be my number one opportunity. Look to take advantage of that. Dollar CAD, last time I checked, was still inside the range. Is it breaking out? Nah, still inside the range. So again, with dollar CAD, I said I was looking for a bigger pullback with this one back into 1.415, which was this area of resistance, which will be turned support. Unfortunately, doesn't look like that's going to happen either. This kind of fake out here of the range might just be the next high low in this sequence. You can see the prior high lows to the left. So one over there, second, third, fourth, could argue fifth, even though it didn't create a high, but still seeing higher lows. And maybe this is the next one in that sequence. Price doesn't have quite enough juice to see the pullback to get to that level, and we might just continue to the upside. So as I mentioned on the weekly analysis as well, the next best opportunity might just be waiting for the break of the high. We still have the big weekly level just above us at 1.46. That is where I'm expecting dollar CAD to end up next, where we might see a big rejection, or maybe we might see price breakthrough. We'll get there, and we'll make that judgment. But for now, really nice resistance level here. Price tested it a few times, rejected it each time. But if we can see a break of this level, again, simple break and retest could be a great way, excuse me, a great way to take advantage of some buys, ride that momentum. If USD stays strong, there's a good chance dollar CAD is going to keep pushing. And yeah, it could be some nice opportunities on the retest of the high. And as well, I would say also a retest of the low of the range could be a nice trade, because we've had that fake out. The price can come back and retest the low. There's a good chance it will hold, and you can at least take advantage of the range. So buy low, sell high, and then you can leave some positions to run just in case we do break out and see a bigger move. But nonetheless, looking for opportunities to buy in dollar CAD, and these opportunities look pretty good. I'll still keep an eye on that, but I don't see that happening just yet. In terms of Aussie dollar, Expecting more downside with this one as well, but first I do need to see a big pullback really, because we're taking out some major lows on the weekly, daily chart. If I expand to the weekly, you can see the lows here. We just about pinched that last week. So now's not really a good time to be looking to sell Aussie dollar, especially if you're looking for a swing position. If you're looking for kind of more of an intraday, take advantage of the current momentum trade, sure, you can get away with that. But because we've taken out some big lows here, I do expect to see a bigger pullback at some point. Now, the market could keep falling. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. But from my experience, it's always very difficult to sell after we take up major highs or lows on the higher time frames. It's much better to wait for that pullback to happen, and then when it does happen, and it does give you that short, it could be a really nice continuation trade from then onwards. So Aussie dollar, I'm not really too interested in. I know it's another USD pair, still overall bearish long term. In fact, I expect us to eventually get back to COVID lows here on the left. That's still my longer term target with Aussie dollar. So I do still see a lot more downside, but I need that bigger pullback because we have just taken out some major lows on the left here. So I do want to see a pullback, and I've talked about this area as a nice place for a break and retest, and at least we can get a more comfortable sell there. So still looking at a much bigger pullback for Aussie dollar, and yeah, I won't be doing anything until we get one. But yeah, still bearish. New Zealand dollar, it's similar situation, but we haven't taken out any major weekly lows yet. If I go to the weekly chart, our low is still there, even though it looks pretty likely to go pretty soon. We haven't taken out the low yet, so I wouldn't mind some more shorter term pullbacks. But even then, the next best level for a short for me for New Zealand dollar is still this level here. So even for this one, I want to see a pretty big pullback. But I wouldn't be surprised this week if we kind of just keep falling. So again, if you're looking at intraday level, keep an eye. We might just see a pullback like this, test some areas and then get the next lower high in reference to the high over there. So high drop, pullback of that move, maybe into the 0.5 or 0.618 of the fib, and then we might continue. So that might be the best bet intraday. So keep an eye out for that, or intra-week. Not really intraday is that. But yeah, the bigger pullback is still what I'm looking for those two currency pairs. In terms of gold and silver, still not a big fan of gold. It has picked up some momentum, so fair play to it. But at the end of the day, still very much within the range. And again, I don't want to do anything within this range. I wouldn't mind shorting the high or buying the low, but not in the middle. Not in the middle. That's no man's land for me anyway. But I have to admit, there's some nice bullish structure, higher highs and higher lows the market's been printing, so that's not too bad. So some pullbacks of that move could be a nice trade to look at to ride it back into the high of the range, and then we'll see price breaks through or not. So this could still be a nice trade, not one that will fit my criteria because it's in the middle of a range, but it's still a healthy bullish structure and could still play out very well. So if you are looking to trade gold, I would be bullish on this one. I am bullish longer term. I'm still looking for price to get back to the all-time highs. Yeah, I would be bullish kind of intra-week as well, expecting a push at least back to that resistance. And then we see what happens, whether we break or respect the level. And silver, finally, for the USD as well. This one, still overall bullish, still looking for a push back to the high at 35, I think. Yeah, 35. Still looking for a push back into that high there, but it's taking its time to be honest. Nice little double bottom here. Seeing some nice upsides from that, but failed to really get going. It's kind of moving sideways a little bit. So kind of hoping for some momentum this week and some higher highs and higher lows to ride it back up again. I need to watch out for this area because that could send us back down, but I do expect us to eventually get back to the highs. Same with gold. I expect them to do the same thing. So yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with the USD stuff. What is up, people? Hope everyone's doing good. Where was I? What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. 1 hour time frame. Okay, is that for oil? I'll take a look at oil on the hourly. My weekend was good. Thank you. The weekend was pretty good. Hope your weekend was good too. Dark Sean, good morning. Hope you're well. GJ on well. Yes, GJ is absolutely melting at the moment. Yen pairs are looking very interesting. Yeah, pound. I think pound is still just weak at the moment. So pound yen's doing the uh, most movement. Euro yen's looking interesting as well. We'll get to the yen pairs in a bit. But I mean, I'll take a look at GJ on the 5 minute for you. Waiting for a retracement to find new entries on the 5 minute. Okay, I'll take a look. Ahmed, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're well. Himanshu, what's up? Euro pound good for buys. Yes, I'm looking at Euro pound for buys as well. That is on the watch list. So I actually am keeping a close eye on Euro pound this week. Ben, pound going to zero. At this rate, it looks like it, doesn't it? Pound is just not finding any support at the moment, just falling out the sky. Well, we hope it doesn't, because I do live in the UK, so that wouldn't be ideal. But hey, if I can profit from it, it might make it a little bit better. Farm Exchange, what's up? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good. For some BTC, okay, I'll go through GJ in the 5 minute. We'll take a look at Euro Pound. We'll go through BTC as well. Yeah, I saw that indices is not looking too good either, Ben. What I think is going to happen with crypto. Okay, I'll go judge that in a second. I mean, still overall bullish, but it just might be a bit of a correction now. Blessing, Euro yen. We'll go through pound yen. Yeah, we'll go through the yen pairs together. Let me just get through some other requests. What's up, Seas Integrated? Hope you're well. Gold and silver. Okay, we'll take a look at that as well. Thiago, I'm saying that correctly? Probably not, but what's up? Hope you're doing good. Anyway, I'll go through oil. I'll go through some crests, then we'll go through like all the pairs together, because they're looking very interesting, 100%. But yeah, oil's in a very interesting area as well. I expect oil to hold this area and pretty much sell off here. If we do break through, then I'm going to have to rethink my bias with oil, because if we don't hold this, then yeah, that means we might be seeing well, not necessarily bullish oil, because it is kind of in a bigger range here. So even if we do break through the trend line, I wouldn't be surprised if we just top out somewhere and come back down and just form a bigger range. So it's not a situation where I'm looking for this, even though that could be the situation, but I'll wait for that high to be taken out first before I start talking about a push back up there again. So yeah, overall oil, I'm still pretty bearish. I'm looking at these major lower highs, one over there, second over there, third over there. And again, I'm looking at potentially a fourth forming. And this is the prime place for that, back at that trend line resistance, back at this resistance as well. So if we can hold this, I think this is a great place to short from. You can really refine your stop loss above the high, and you maximize your risk reward. Should you get pushed back down to the lows, you're looking at a very healthy trade. Even if it's just to ride it back to resistance here, or even that area, depending on your entry, you're still looking at a pretty decent positive risk to reward there. So I like the shorts here for oil. Nice rejection on the flower chart as well. Really healthy candle close. You can look to place a stop loss above that wick there with a bit of wiggle room, and look for entries in that area. So yeah, I think oil looking really good to short. I know you said on the hourly chart, excuse me, nice close on the hourly chart as well. The candle that just closed, really nice bearish engulfing candle, really shifting momentum. So yeah, I think this looks really good for a short. I think this looks really good for a short. Of course, nothing's guaranteed. We could still very much break to the upside, but in terms of the risk to reward on this one, if you can short from here and really take this one down, if it does hold this confluence here, and if it is going to put that lower high in. So yeah, I really like oil. Great location for entries. Already seen some healthy rejection. I do think this is a great place for some downside, and you got multiple targets to choose from. And if you're really looking for a big swing, then you could even look at some of these lows down here as well, because I do expect this low eventually to be taken out if we are going to continue in this bearish manner here. So yeah, it depends how far you can take your trades and how big of a swing you're looking for. But this is an area where I do think we can sell off and do something like we did here, do something like we did here and there as well. So yeah, really great place to short. And if we do see a strong candle close on the daily chart above this level, and we stay above, as in we don't come back down the next day and just give us a fake out, then yeah, I'll reanalyze oil from there, and we'll go again. But for now, still a great place to short, so keep an eye on that. In terms of euro pounds, like I said, this pair is on the watch list this week. I am liking the buys. Really lovely breakout last week, taking out these highs on the left. A lot of momentum. And that's exactly what I was looking for euro pound, because as I keep saying, we're trading a massive level of monthly support. And this is an area which I would be anticipating buys from. So if I could see signs on the monthly chart that we're about to bounce, which we are seeing, I know this monthly candle still does have pretty much half the month left to trade, but already seeing signs of momentum stepping in. And what I mean by that is strong bullish candlesticks. It's not like we're slowly pushing up, because that's just a corrective manner. We could easily sell off again. But the fact that the market is pushing up very aggressively, if I go back to the 4-hour chart, it's a sign of kind of bigger players in the market buying up this one. So my plan as a much smaller retail trader is just looking for the correction of that, and hopefully the continuation back to highs and maybe higher. There's resistance on the left over here at 0.844. I think that looks like a really healthy target to have. So the plan this week for euro pound was a retest of the high here, which I don't know. Now the price is breaking through the highs here. Do we get that retest? Again, maybe have to keep a lookout for these things. But we opened the week around here, so I was kind of hoping for a bit of consolidation, a drop down, and then a continuation. Could still very much happen. But I wonder, are we going to go test the high first before the pullback? Doesn't really make a difference. In fact, if we take out the high, it actually increases the probability of the trade playing out should we see the big pullback, because we're taking out even more structure. We took out some highs on the left. So if we can take out these highs too, that's a bonus. But then again, at that rate, would we see that big of a pullback? Who knows? We have to wait and see. But the thing I do like about euro pound is that we formed equal lows there. Nice double bottom over there on the left. Then we went and broke structure, continue with these higher lows, and left behind a very powerful level of resistance, which we yet to come back and retest. So yeah, looking for a pullback in euro pound for buys. And yeah, hopefully we can take it back to 0.845 and maybe higher. But that is the plan, the trade I am looking at this week for euro pound. Let's just wait and see if it does pull back there. Pound JPY, I'll take a look at this one on the low time frames, and then I'll go through BTC as well. We'll take a look at gold and silver, then we're just going to go through the yen pairs together. But yeah, pound yen absolutely falling. This is a pair that is on the watch list as well. Again, I was looking for the pullback of this leg here, which I am still looking at the pullback of that leg. But where did we open up? Is this the candle Friday? Okay, we opened there. Yeah. So I was looking for the pullback of this leg here, and I was talking about the 0.5, 0.618 area as a healthy place to short from. And it still is, because now that we've had such a big drop, it now lines up even better with this level here. So I would be looking at a pullback to 194.5. But again, the plan for pound yen has always been the big short. Looking for the sell at 199.6. That has been the plan, looking for that double top and the big short, because I'm looking at the continuation of this bearish move here. So there's your correction. Now I'm expecting continuation. So that's what I've been looking at, but it just means that we might not be getting back to the high there, unfortunately. It looks like we are forming a lower high just below that, which is not to worry. I mean, it means that I won't get the high over there, which is my preferred opportunity. But again, in trading, you have to adapt to what the market's giving you, and it's still giving me a really nice opportunity. Lovely bearish leg, breaking through structure here on the left. Lovely equal highs there as well. Price was falling. Then we formed a lower high. It gave us a very strong bearish leg to the downside. So now I'm looking for the pullback of this. And my area of interest does lie at the retest of this low, retest the 0.5 of the fib at 194,500. Then again, looking for continuations back into this low here, but then pretty much back into that low there as well. Trying to really stretch the trade, because I do see this one going very far. Of course, I will be trading stops as well. I won't just hold on for a massive win. I have to protect my downside too. But yeah, really lovely bearish leg. Looking at the correction of that and more downside. If I drop to the 5-minute chart, what we doing here? Still looking very bearish as well. Lovely bearish legs. Again, even from a 5-minute perspective, can be looking at some more downside from this area. Let's say we have a nice correction, form a high, then again, another continuation back into the lows and so on and so forth. Seeing a lot of momentum on this time frame as well. Of course, for me, I'm looking at a much bigger pullback, but yeah, on the lower time frames, I'll still keep up the shorts as well. So yeah, hopefully you can see a bit of a pullback for pound yen. And yeah, expecting a lot more downside for this one. As I mentioned with gold and silver, I'm starting to like the price action a little bit more with gold. Starting to see some healthy bullish structure. I mean, overall, it's still within the confinements of the range, so I'm not really interested in myself. But if we do break the high, this high here, 27.16, it will be something I'll be interested in. If price can break through the high there, I'm definitely looking at some buys for gold back to the high there on the left at 27.90 and probably new highs at that point. But yeah, we are seeing some healthy bullish structure. So as I said earlier, looking for a pullback of this last bullish leg. Let me just clean this up. So yeah, looking for pullbacks of this last bullish leg, and a retest of the high looks pretty good there. So if price can come back, retest the high, I think that's a great place to look for some longs, and you've got pretty healthy resistance just above you, 27, 16, 17 to aim for there as well. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot more upside with gold. Of course, we could reject this and come straight back down again, so watch out for that. But I do see the bigger move eventually happening, which will take us back to the high there. So keep an eye out for that. And silver don't really have anything at the moment. I mean, I know what I'm looking to do. I know what I'm expecting silver to do as well, but I just don't have a setup to trade just yet, which is, again, I'm still looking for the continuation of this leg here. Lovely push. I'm anticipating that this is just the correction of that move for another push back to the highs and so on and so forth. So that very much is still the plan there with silver. But since we put that double bottom in, the market has become incredibly flat. So I need the market to kind of liven up a little bit, which I was kind of hoping NFP would do that, but unfortunately we didn't. Still very, very flat. So I'm looking for price to break to the upside, form some higher lows, and then hopefully some of those pullbacks can actually develop and give me some trading opportunities there. But yeah, gold and silver still pretty bullish. Gold's putting some really nice higher highs and higher lows in. So it looks like that one's keep pushing. Silver, lovely double bottom back there from a couple of weeks ago. It looks like that's getting ready to push higher. Taking its time, but it looks like it's getting ready. So hopefully in the next few days, I do get some longs on silver at least. Maybe gold too if it does break out the range. But yeah, bullish on both of them. Let me delete that. Bullish on both of them, expecting more upside, even with the USD strength as well. But as we've seen, even with USD being so strong, gold's actually still pushed up. Right now, they're kind of correlated positively. Normally, they're inversely correlated, but they're moving in the same direction at the moment. So that goes to show you that sometimes correlation comes and goes, not absolute, at least with some markets anyway. Anyway, where were we? Okay, I'll go through BTC. We'll go through some. I'll take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll go through some of the indices, and then we'll just take a look at the yen pairs together. Eric, okay, I'll quickly run through oil as well. Yep, JPY basket. We'll take a look at that too. No problem. Okay, so some of the indices looking pretty bearish. The bonus pair on the weekly analysis, I mentioned US 30 is looking good for a short because it looked like NFP gave us a lot of bearish momentum, and looks like we're starting to see signs of that continuing. And if that's the case, I do think we can have a bit of a sell-off here for US 30. We had some lovely lows here on the left. Price broke structure off the back of that interest rate. Since then, the market just consolidated, but then looks like we're now seeing continuation and prices breaking out that range. So if we can keep that up, that'll be absolutely great, because then if we do get a strong break to the downside, it does it does leave behind a really nice level of support for us to look for a retest of and a continuation. So really, really liking US 30's price action right now. Again, higher time frames still very bullish. We have broken structure, yes, but the last major high low the market puts in for US 30s all the way back down here. So even though, yes, we did break structure, I'm just looking at this as a correction for eventually a push back up. So just a bit of counter trend play, if you will, before we start looking for buys again pretty soon with US30. But for now, looks like we are spilling off to the downside. So if we do see this momentum pick up a little bit, I will be looking for the retest of that area and expecting a lot more downside for US30. If you take a look at NAS as well, I think NAS is breaking through support, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, breaking through support. This one's still got some work to do. It's breaking support, which is great, but I do want to see it break through the low here as well, because this is the last high low, which gave us the higher high. So technically speaking, we're still within bullish structure because this low gave us the higher high. So even though great stuff, lovely lower highs, let's actually start breaking through some structure first. Then if you can do that in one move, that'll be brilliant because it will leave behind a nice levels of support and resistance, which we can look to short from as well. So this could be the next trade idea for NAS on the 4-hour chart. Continuing these lower highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, respecting lovely levels of support, now turn resistance, and of course breaking structure as well whilst we're at it. So that could be a really nice trade there for NAS. But yeah, definitely looking very bearish at the moment in time. And S&P 500, same thing as NAS, really lovely support there on the left. Price looks like it's starting to break through. You can see the lower highs price has been putting in, one over there, second over there, third. So again, similar to NAS, could be seeing continuations of that. We are breaking through the low here as well. It'd be great if we can break through this low here too. Really give more confirmation that the market's likely to sell off. And then similar to NAS, similar to US30 even, just looking for the break and retest and the continuation of that momentum and see the next lower high there and so on and so forth. And again, for S&P, this is just a bit of counter trend play. We might have a nice correction for a few days, few weeks potentially. But again, later on, I don't know, maybe we come back and retest the high here, or maybe we come back and retest this high. But sooner or later, we probably will just put the high low in and come right back to high. So at the moment, seeing some bearish structure, shorts look good. And yeah, at least see another wave to the downside there for those major indices. Okay, I'll quickly go through oil and then we'll go through the yen pairs. So yeah, as I mentioned with oil, shorts look really good. Really nice area of resistance we're trading at. As you can see, the prior major swing highs in the market. 1, 2, 3, looking for the fourth one. And again, another swing to the downside, coming back into resistance as well. Already seen some healthy rejection on the 4-hour chart. That could be an entry in itself. Stops above the high there with a bit of wiggle room. And yeah, looking for a really big sell. And why this opportunity is such a good one, not necessarily because it's guaranteed to play out, of course not. It's just because the risk reward is very high. Should we see another swing like we've seen previously, you could easily expect price to be right back at these lows and maybe even a lot further as well. Of course, that'll be a bit more extra, but even a swing back to these lows, you're looking at pretty healthy risk reward. Even if you're entering like the 4-hour, even on the daily chart, you're still looking at pretty good position there. So yeah, looking really good, really healthy area of confluence. And if we are going to see another lower high, I would expect this is the place to do it. If I whip out the fib as well, just broken past the 0.618. So it's a healthy pullback. It's up to price if it wants to now continue. But yeah, looking good for a short and expecting a bit of a move to the downside. So yeah, that's my outlook on oil. In terms of the yen pairs, we'll go through the yen pairs now. So we went through pound yen earlier. That's looking very bearish, and I'm liking it. It's on the watch list for myself as well. If I do see that pullback back into that zone there at 199.5, 194.5, sorry, I will be looking for some shorts. Euro yen looking probably slightly better than pound yen because this one's a bit more still within reach. Pound yen's, of course, absolutely sold off. Whereas euro yen, we have sold off pretty aggressively as well this morning, but it hasn't been anything too crazy. We're still breaking through lows, and I am looking for a pullback for another lower high and again another short. It would be nice if euro yen can see a little bit more downside and also take up this low, meaning break structure, because this is still the higher low that gave us the higher high. This low here is not necessarily the most important low in the world because it didn't create a new high. This one did. So if it can just push, a couple more candles down, not asking for too much, break structure as well, then the pullbacks would be even more high probability. But still, even if we don't, I'll still look to take some shorts there. Nice brief consolidation before we did shot to the downside there. I think that was that NFP? Yeah, that was NFP. Really strong move to the downside off the back of that move there. So pullbacks into that area look good. Trying to find the next lower high in this bearish sequence as well. And again, similar to pound yen, looking to short it back into that low, and then eventually back into these wick lows and a lot further as well. It does look like euro yen is still seeing continuation of this move, and this looks to be the correction of that for continuation. Maybe even like a big head and shoulder there. Left head, right shoulder, and then there's the continuation. So could be seeing that pattern represent very well in the daily chart there. But from a 4-hour chart, looking very good, breaking the lows very well. So yeah, hopefully you can find some pullbacks and then short it back into the low, and that does remain the plan. With euro yen, if we do for some reason still push to the upside, I still do like the high over here for shorts, but I do not see that happening at this point in time. So this is now the main focus, but it's pretty much the same setup as pound. CAD yen looks like we are trying to break the lows. I don't think we have quite done that yet. No, we haven't. We haven't really put in lower highs in either. So we have broke the trend line, so it does look like we are pushing down, but it's not looking good as euro yen or pound yen, and not giving me that much confidence to go and short that one just yet. And that's completely fine because I'm not looking to short all the yen pairs. I'm just looking to take the better ones, which at the moment are definitely euro and pound, at least for me anyway. CAD yen, if it does start breaking the lows, will look a lot better, which is this low here, because that's the low that, of course, gave us new highs. So price can go and break through that. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And then we can form some lower highs off the back of that. And again, a push back to these lows, so on and so forth. Again, for CAD yen, I still do like the push back to the high at 111, sorry. But I don't think we're going to see that happen anymore. Looking what pound yen's doing, looking what euro yen's doing, we're probably going to do what those guys are doing and just kind of sell off from where we are right now. And then if that's the case, I do expect us to come right back down into 103 and probably go and break through that as well. Lovely bearish leg here. Now looking at this as the correction and looking for the continuation of that move. I was just simply looking for one more push back to the high first and then the drop. But maybe we don't get that. Maybe we just form a lower high before the continuation. But either which way, CAD yen is looking bearish, broke through that counter trend line pretty well. And now we're seeing some momentum. So if it does continue, take out the lows as well, we'll look for a lower high and then some more shorts. In terms of some of the other yen pairs, if you take a look at Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, these guys are looking very bearish. I was expecting a bit of a bounce there for these guys as we came back to retest this level here, because I was still looking for a push back to these highs first. Let me go to the daily chart. Still looking for a push back to these highs first before then the big sell. Similar to pound yen, similar to euro, similar to CAD, looking for the push back to the high in a bigger correction of this move and then the drop back down again, but it doesn't look like we're getting that. In fairness, it looks like price is just ranged, and now if we do go and break the lows there, we might just be on our way. Still a possibility we could see that move, but yeah, now that we're breaking structure on the 4-hour chart, that doesn't give me a lot of confidence anymore as well. We're just going to take out these lows. We had some higher lows printed in, 1, 2, 3. Now we've broken that. So yeah, not looking too good. So yeah, with Aussie yen, I would kind of leave this one alone, to be honest. This is more of a range, if anything. If it does start breaking the low of the range, okay, we can speak a bit more about this one like that potentially, but I'm not going to look to trade within inside of this now. It's just too congested, and there's a lot better markets out there. New Zealand yen, same situation as well. I was looking for the buy for this one as we came back to retest this range here on the left, but I didn't play ball. Did see a nice reaction, but just didn't get that higher low. We formed that first low there, high, higher low, higher high. And again, was looking for the higher low for the continuation. But again, it didn't hold. We ended up breaking structure, and our price is looking pretty bearish there. So again, similar to Aussie yen, this to me just looks like a flat range at the moment. So I'm not going to look too much into price action. Sure, we might bounce off the lows or bounce off the highs again. That's a possibility. But in terms of the swing, the biggest swing, still expecting it to the downside, but I was looking for one more push back up again for that sell. And again, that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. So maybe we just consolidate here, then break to the downside and be on our way, back to this area, and then we really continue. But yeah, with New Zealand yen in that range, I'll stay away. Aussie yen in the range, I'll stay away as well. Dollar yen. Dollar yen I'm actually still bullish on. I'm actually still pretty bullish on dollar yen. I'm looking to buy this one. All other yen pairs, I'm looking for a really big sell. However, dollar yen, I'm still looking to buy. And of course, it is partnered with USD. So I guess we do have a good chance of seeing that, especially if the DXY keeps pushing all the way back to 113. Then there's a good chance USD JPY is probably going to follow suit as well. But again, I'm seeing bullish structure here, so I can't really digress from that. So I'm looking at another higher low forming, possibly a push back to the high. Then maybe we get the sell from there. I could be wrong. Maybe we do drop like the other yen pairs, but I don't quite see that just yet. And I know with USD being strong, it is a good case we can bounce. So I'm actually looking for a push back into this area. It lines up pretty well with the 0.5 of the fib, as we can see. And at the moment, the market's still looking pretty corrective. So I do expect to see a drop anyway. This is not really healthy trending characteristics. Market that is moving like this, just breaking the high, pushing back down, breaking the high, pushing back down. Not a sign of a healthy trending market. Excuse me. So I do expect us to push back down in what I would expect to be a retracement and then a continuation back to the high. So that's still what I'm interested in with dollar yen. I know it's not lining up my bias with other yen pairs, but if USD is going to be strong, it might still push up anyway. And then, of course, you got your lovely CHF JPY, which, again, I think is looking pretty bearish. Yeah, broke the lows. This one as well, looking for a pullback of this bearish leg here and expecting another sell-off. There was a nice brief range here before the drop. I think that was NFP as well. Yep, NFP. And, yeah, a pullback into that zone I think looks good for, again, another short to the downside. So yeah, very bearish on these yen pairs. Was looking for a bit more upside, but at this moment in time, does not look like that's going to happen. So the plan is to look for the pullbacks of that bearish leg and expect to see a push back to the lows. So yeah, that's really where I'm at with the yen pairs. I will take a look at the JPY basket. What's up, Joseph? Hope you're well. Customize your watch just like yours. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Let me just escape this. So when you click on the right here, at the top right corner with that kind of weird square thingy. Yeah, so basically, if you want to create like a folder, how do you do that again? Is it just a right click? Generally forgot. It's been a while since I created this. Remove section, add symbol. Okay, so yeah, add section there. It's been a long time. So yeah, click add section there, and it will add another section. As you can see, section 1. Then you can of course rename it to whatever you want. But yeah, just add sections. Group markets with other markets that are correlated. So for me, I've got yen pairs over there, USD pairs over there, CAD pairs over there, crosses and CHF, and these are extra markets I look at the moment. But yeah, it just groups everything pretty well. And if that's what you're talking about, if you're talking about something else, let me know. But yeah, it helps organize things. We're going to get that waterfall. Yeah, it does look like it. It does look like it. We are going to get that waterfall. Will, are you looking at, okay, you're looking at Euro yen is about long-term bear for me, entry 161.5-ish. Okay. Oh, so you got an entry. Okay, Will, I see you. I see you. I didn't see that message before. Entry 161.5. Okay, somewhere around here. Okay, looking good, looking good. So yeah, I'm looking for pretty much the same thing. I'm looking for a pullback to see if we get in. We'll see if that happens or not. But yeah, the market is looking very bearish. I 100% agree with that. I do think we can see a bit more downside, and I'm looking for a pushback to 157. So hopefully we can get our skates on, see a bit more momentum. It is the season, start of the new year. We are seeing a bit of momentum in the markets, which is great. So hopefully that does continue. Let me go take a look at the JPY basket. So yeah, JPY basket. Ooh, would you look at that? Looking very, very bullish. So I was looking for one more push to the downside. I think I drew this up on Friday, or was it? Yeah, Friday or Thursday. So I was looking for one more push to the downside back into the low here, and then the push, of course, which corresponds to what I was looking for: pound yen, euro yen, CAD yen, you name it. Looking for the push, back to the high up here, and then up from there, I was going to look for the sell, euro yen as well. Push back to the high up there. Then I was going to look for the sell, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore. And yeah, looking at the JPY basket, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore as well. I was looking for the double bottom there for the reversal, but maybe we're just going to reverse from this area here and push in now. So yeah, with the JPY basket doing that, yeah, so with the JPY basket doing that, now the plan is a pullback of that move and some more upside. So if that is going to be the top, I mean, you still push on, but wherever the top does form, looking at a pullback and a continuation, possibly the retest of that high, could be something to keep an eye on there. So yeah, JPY basket is looking very bullish at the moment. It'd be nice if this can keep going to take out the highs there, which is at 65, 67. Because this for me is like the last kind of big high that had that big push to the downside, which created these lows. So it'd be nice to kind of break through that high there too, to show the commitment of the buyers, not really seeing sellers push price down at all. And if you can break through that area, I would expect us just to push it back to the high there as well. So yeah, JPY basket looking very bullish. Doesn't look like we can get the double bottom there as well, so we'll have to adapt to that. But yeah, I want to see a correction of that move, and then yeah, expecting a lot more upside. And we could be seeing, expand to the higher time frames, could be seeing just the correction of this move here. So again, lovely impulse to the upside. This is your correction of that move. And now possibly you're going to see the continuation back to the highs and further. So similar to pound yen, similar to euro CAD, we could be seeing that move there happen as well. So yeah, JPY basket looking very, very bullish there. And looks like we probably will just expect to see price keep pushing. Have a look at the Japanese index. Oh, would you look at that? So we've sold off very aggressively there. So we've been banging our heads on this resistance for a while. We never got the breakout of it. Price just kept rejecting, and then again, past 3 days, really huge sell-off. Looks like we're coming back into the lower end of that consolidation because we have just been ranging. You got the equal highs over there, equal lows there. If we do break that low, then the next target would be then 36K, 35,600, and that could be a really big sell-off there for the yen pairs as well. JPY basket breaking through support, JPY basket breaking through resistance, sorry. The Japanese index breaking support. Yeah, it's going to be a big sign that yen is very weak, very strong, sorry, and we could be seeing a lot more downside on the yen pairs. So yeah, very, very interesting times now. And euro yen and pound yen are my favorite yen pairs to get involved with. Just need to wait patiently for some pullbacks. I think euro yen's probably looking a bit more realistic. Actually, no. I could see pound coming back to retest that. It's pretty overextended right now, and it could very easily keep falling. But pound yen looks really good. Euro yen looks really good. And of course, they're similar pairs anyway. So I'll be looking to pick the better one and short that one. And hopefully we can take it back to lows and even further than that as well. So yeah, yen pairs looking very, very bearish at the moment, expecting a lot more downside. Himanshu, pound NZD. Okay, good for buying at current price. Okay, pound ends the am bullish on, but not at current price. I'm looking for a bit more downside in pound ends the. Personally, I'm looking for another major high low on the daily chart. You can see the trend is looking pretty healthy so far. Continuous higher lows here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 5 over there. So overall, the market structure is looking very good. Consistent higher lows, consistent higher highs. But since we have taken out a major high on the left here, I'm looking for a bigger pullback now. And of course, we've tried to continue, but we haven't really seen that continuation happen. So I'm looking at a slightly bigger pullback, and the area I'm looking for price to pull back into is still roughly back into the lower end of this area. Lovely range there, big push to the upside. Yet to come back and retest that area actually on the full hour and even the daily chart too. So I would want to see price head a little bit further, and then I can start looking for some longs around 2.16. That would be the area interesting for buys. And it looks like we kind of just broke structure as well. Did we? Yeah, just about close below. So yeah, sure, it's an area to buy in terms of taking advantage of retracement. There is a gap here as well, which I just noticed, which price could look to go fill. So if you're looking for a shorter term buy in terms of holding the train for a day, a day tops, sure, there might be a buy for that. If you're looking for any type of a swing, I'm not quite convinced. I would wait for price to come lower. I've got more confidence down here. And as I said, just trying to keep up with the higher lows really, and trying to find the next one. And that is the area which I would want to get involved with. So pound ends the am bullish. So I agree with you on the terms of the bias. If you want to buy from current price, of course, if you've got your reasons for that, I would imagine so. Take your trades. Don't want to talk you out of taking a position. But yeah, it's a nice area for a buy. It's just it might only last short term before we do have a slightly deeper correction, which I expect price to do. So if you're only looking for a day, sure. At the moment, I'm still currently in the Euro CHF. That's the only position I have open at the moment. We did see a bit of a nice drop there this morning, pretty much on the last 4-hour candle, really. In a bit of profit. Once you start taking out these lows, I'll look to go break even and remove risk. The plan is to try and sell it back to the lows there, 0.92. But overall, very bearish on Euro CHF, since that is what we're seeing on these higher time frames. Still seeing lower lows and lower highs. Got the original high over there, drop, lower high, so on and so forth. And this here over there is our last lower high. So as long as price remains below that, that keeps me bearish there for Euro CHF. And I would expect price to keep selling off. Of course, if price turns around at some point, maybe forms a double bottom here and pushes back up again and takes out the high, I'll be out the trade, of course. In fact, I'll be out the trade if we do break resistance here. If we do close above, I'll just close it early, save myself a few extra pips. If it does come back below again, then of course I'll re-enter, just like what happened with this position. I entered originally over there. It did close back above resistance. My original stop loss was just above the high here. But since it closed above resistance, there's no point in me staying in the trade and giving a bit more money to the market. I can just wait for re-entries to see if I get that. And I did get a re-entry. And now we're looking pretty healthy. So hopefully momentum can pick up, take out that low there, remove risk, and then hopefully we can take it back down into the lows at 0.924. And the reason I like this position a lot as well is because on the higher time frames, scaling to the monthly even, we're seeing bearish momentum and bearish structure. So as a swing trader, it's always great when you've got higher time frames on your side, monthly, weekly, and daily, all pointing in the same direction. It's a no-brainer to look for trades in that direction. Because if you're looking to hold trades for a number of days, you don't want to be holding trades for a number of days against that direction. Not that you can't hit successful trades in that direction, of course not. But on average, you're going to have a much better time in favor of the higher time frame direction rather than going against it. So as long as we maintain that lower high, it's keeping me bearish. If we do go and break it, then I'll still be bearish on the higher time frames, but it just means we probably will go through a bigger pullback phase. I did mention this higher time frame trend line. So first test there, second test there. If we do go and break structure, then I would have to start looking at some higher highs and higher lows back into that level, into that trend line. And then again, maybe we do get the sell from then. And yeah, I'll still keep an eye on that because I think that's still going to be a good opportunity if it does set up. But yeah, at the moment, only EuroCHF. I'll go through my watch list. I don't really have too many pairs on the watch list at the moment. I mean, there's quite a few in terms of which I'm liking, but in terms of which will probably actually give me a setup this week. In terms of the CHF pairs, if price does go and break the low here, then I can start looking at CHF pairs again because I remove risk with this position. I still do like New Zealand CHF for the exact same reasons I like Euro CHF. Again, right to the higher time frames. If I go to the monthly chart briefly, you can see the market is still selling off to the downside. I'm expecting us to go fill that wick because we've broken through support here on the left. This is the monthly chart, by the way. We've broken through support there on the left, so there's a good chance we're just going to go fill the wick here and probably take out the lows there, especially with price trading underneath. So New Zealand CHF to me, from a top-down perspective, is looking like a very likely market that's going to go take out these lows in the next few weeks. And again, you can see on the weekly chart, a lot of wicks there to the upside, especially last week's candle. Huge wick there. Market dropped very heavily. So as long as we keep this up here for New Zealand CHF, I see this one melting to the downside as well. The only reason why I didn't short this one last week is because I was eyeing up Euro CHF and I didn't want to take both, and I chose Euro CHF. Now if I can get Euro CHF to break even, and for some reason we do get a bigger pullback on New Zealand CHF, I'll be more than happy to get the short, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Looking to see if we can come up, retest the high again, get the short up there, and come back and retest the support level as well. Excuse me. Retest the support level as well at 0.514. And I believe we do have some trendline confluence. Nah, not quite. Maybe we spike into it, but the confluence is already there anyway. So yeah, if we can get a retest of that area, that'd be great. And then yeah, still looking to take New Zealand CHF back to the lows. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. In terms of the yen pairs, as I spoke about, pound yen and euro yen look the best. That's really where my focus lies for now. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It does really help out. I do appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed so far. Subscribe to the channel, and of course, do go and hit the bell too if you do not want to miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, guys, I really do appreciate everyone who has liked the stream so far. It does really help out. So yeah, pound yen looking very bearish. This is on the watch list. The fib area I was looking at, I mean, still the same area, but the level I was looking to short from was a little bit different before we had that drop. I was looking for price to pull a little bit deeper and retest this area here around 195.8. But now that we've had another big push and seen a lot of momentum break the low, now I'm happy to actually look for the retest of the low here. So yeah, pound yen, looking for shorts at that level. What's up, Karis? Good morning. Hope you're doing well, my man. Welcome. So yeah, pound yen, I'm liking the shorts at this area here as well. Looking for some downside off that level, 194.5. In terms of euro yen, I didn't look at Bitcoin, did I? Forgot, my bad. I'll look at it after this. If I forget a pair that's on request, just drop it down in the chat, because sometimes I'm very focused on what I'm doing and I forget what pairs people request. So if I do miss out a pair someone has mentioned, just let me know. Anyway, so euro yen, I'm looking for the retest of 162.5. If I can get pulled back there, great. Again, I'll just pick which pair looks better between pound yen and euro yen, but these guys I'm definitely looking for some shorts. Euro pound, as I mentioned at the start of the stream, is another pair on the watch list. Liking the opportunity for a pullback, retest this zone here. Very, very strong resistance. Broke through with one big candle, yet to come back and retest it as support. So to me, it looks like a fresh level to buy from. And because I know euro pound's in that monthly level support, I know euro pound has the possibility to see a lot of upside. So I'm really liking this position as well. And we're taking out some major highs there to the left too. So expecting a lot more upside here for euro pound. This is the first area I'm looking to get involved with. And if you take out that high too, it just increases the probability of the trade altogether. So yeah, very bullish with euro pound. New Zealand CHF short. I'm keeping an eye on pound CAD because it looks like we are breaking the lows on the daily chart. Um, have we? Or did we just spike through? Looks like we're just into it. If you can see another candle closure, that would be nice. But yeah, it looks like we are breaking the low. And this is significant because this is the low that gave us the high over there. So if we do break that low, I'm going to expect a lower high in the daily chart to form. And that's the high I'll be looking to take advantage of for a big push down. That's very poor drawing. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much the watch list. I also like dollar CAD. I also like pound USD. I also like Euro USD. You know, I like these guys there too. But those three pairs are definitely my at the top. If I can get some shorts there, that'd be great. Anyway, I'll go through Bitcoin and Ethereum. I was meant to do that, completely forgot about it. What's up, CS Integrated? I appreciate that, man. Make the like button bullish like the DXY. That is very, very true. Let's hope the DXY doesn't turn bearish now. 20th of January. Make the like button bullish like gold. Yeah, it has been pretty bullish. It has been pretty bullish since the 20th. You mean 20th of December? Cease integrated. Not cease integrated, sorry. Eric, yes, I will take a look at oil. I'm pretty sure you asked for oil earlier, and I went through it. If you scroll back, you'll see an analysis to it. Jeffrey, good morning. Hope you well. Aussie, Aussie CHF, New Zealand CHF. I'll take a look as well. No problem, no problem. Let me go through Bitcoin first because someone mentioned that earlier, and I completely forgot to do it. It's not looking too hot for Bitcoin right now. I didn't check it this morning. It is down on the day 100%. Still at support and it's holding on for dear life. So I'm not going to read too much into a bearish candle because it can be deceiving. We're looking bearish now, but then by the end of the day, we might be closing the doji. So open candles can always be a bit deceiving sometimes, especially when it looks like we're breaking support. Often you do see price pull back and respect that support or resistance. So I'll wait for the end of the day to see how we close. But if it does break through this and we do get a strong close today, then yeah, it's not looking good for Bitcoin at all. And the next big level, as I mentioned, is all the way down at 73K. And if we do break through 92K, we could very much see a drop all the way back down to this area here. Which will be a 20% drop from current price, but a 34% drop from the all-time high, which is a pretty big retracement. Imagine if you were in some longs here, caught that massive breakout, you're loving life, price going to hit 100K, it went up to 108K at one point, and pretty much all of that gains could be gone if we do break through that support there. Which is a bit demoralizing a little bit there, to be honest. But again, it depends what you're looking for. Are you looking just to catch breakouts in Bitcoin? Are you looking to hold for the long run? If you're looking to hold for the long run, then a pullback of that measure shouldn't really be a problem at all for you. What you should be looking at is what price is doing on the highest time frames, which overall is still very bullish. This is the monthly chart here. Correction back to that level is very, very small in the grand scheme of things. I know 30% is a pretty big drop, but overall, Bitcoin does love these bigger pullbacks. So even a retest of this area is still bullish territory and nothing's really changing. But if you're looking at short-term moves or shorter-term moves, it's not looking too hot right now for Bitcoin. So yeah, if that support level does break, 73K is the next best level for me. So that's why we're expecting price to end up next. But we'll see how that daily candle does close. But yeah, we are looking really bearish at the moment there. How's Ethereum looking? Ethereum never looked good, to be honest. Ethereum never looked good ever since we had, it's looking bearish right now. But ever since we had that double top over here, and we went and broke structure the way we did, that was never a good sign there for Ethereum at all. Since then, we had a correction of that drop. So, of course, impulse, break structure, correction, and now we're just going to get the continuation of that. So, with Ethereum, I've said Targets for this one have been back down at this support level, and at this stage, it looks like that's where price is headed to next. This is the next big level there for Ethereum. Just like Bitcoin, I looked at where's the next big level. It was around 73K. Ethereum next big level is this area here, 2,900. So that is where I do see price pushing towards. So if you are looking to kind of day trade or trade Ethereum, I'll be focusing the shorts here, looking to ride it back into these lows, and then we'll judge price again. Maybe we do bounce and turn around. But at the moment, I do think these lows are going to be taken out, and we're going to see a bit more downside there. So yeah, not looking too good, Ethereum. I think maybe the world of crypto might just be seeing retracements now before we do push on. Okay, so I'll go through Aussie CHF, New Zealand CHF for Jeffrey. Under 1 hour and 15 minutes, do you see possible 110, 402, 600? Okay, I'll go judge that in a second. Let me just get these couple of CHF pairs out of the way. So Aussie CHF is not one that I like as much right now. And the only reason I say that is because price is still doing a pretty good job at holding onto this support level. As you can see, multiple times price has respected this level, and it's been such a big level to look at. So I did get excited a couple of weeks ago when we did break through, because I was like, okay, price is probably breaking through that support now. I can look for some pullbacks and some shorts back down to this low. But it was a really half-hearted breakout and we closed back above in the next few days. So I didn't get a trade, and it turned out to be a big fake out. But if we can continue and try that again, and this time it holds, absolutely, Aussie CHF could be a great trade to look at. We've been very consistent with lower highs now, so let's hope that persists, and we can look for the next one and some shorts all the way back down to that area there at 0.54. So expecting a lot more downside here for Aussie CHF, but we have to break through 0.56, this level support. If it doesn't, we very much could use that to push back up again, which is not really a move I'm interested in at the moment. So I'm bearish on Aussie CHF, looking at the higher time frames. Again, going to the higher time frames to see the overall bigger picture. It's still looking very bearish. You can see that support level in a bit more detail on the monthly chart. Weekly there as well, same thing. I do think this wick low here on the left will go. But until we break support, I can't really be looking to sell into that level there. So yeah, I'm waiting to see if we can get some momentum from somewhere, drop below the lows, and look for some lower highs afterwards. In terms of New Zealand CHF, this one's already looking pretty good, but I think I might have missed the boat with this one. Again, I'm not too upset because I'm trading Euro CHF, so I'm taking advantage of the CHF strength, basically. But New Zealand CHF looks really good as well. As we can see, this one's similar to Aussie CHF, but it's broken support already. So it's already got going, support here. It's broken through that. We've seen lower highs, numerous lower highs below this. So the idea is that we're looking for more of the same back into that low, then eventually, oh yeah, that is the all-time low. Back into that low there as well. So yeah, really bearish with New Zealand CHF. If you were to get a retest of the high again, that would be great at 0.514. Find some entries in that area, stops above the high. Then again, at least swing it back into the low. And then hopefully we can go a lot further afterwards. And go and hit the all-time low, which is back down that 0.49. The only bad thing about shorting these CHF pairs, especially if you're looking for the swing positions, is the negative swap. That's the only pain, really. But because the trend is so strong in the higher time frames, if you can time it well, you can get some really nice shorts for this one that can go a long way. But the unfortunate thing is that, if you're going to hold it for a few days, you'll be paying swaps. Okay, so I'll go through DXY. Cease integrated, looking for a push. Okay, 104, 110.4 to 600. And you're looking to see if that move can happen in under an hour and 15. Is there some news in an hour and 15? I guess there would be 1:30. I'm actually checked the economic calendar and go and do that. Let me scale down. So you're looking for a push 110.4, 110.6. Yeah, I think it's a little bit optimistic, if that's the correct word. Yeah, I would say that's the correct word. Especially in an hour and 15 minutes. I think unless, I don't see that happening. We're not really seeing any signs of momentum at the moment. I know we've got a few nice, bursts of momentum there, but even that last big candle close with a big wick to the upside, which I expect it to fill. And I do expect us to eventually go and hit 110.4, 110.6. But in an hour and 15 minutes, I think that's just a really big ask there of the index. So yeah, I do expect us to move in that direction. I think realistically, in the next hour and 15 minutes, you probably can take out this wick high. But the 110.4, 110.6 might just be a bit too much there. Maybe 110.4. Maybe the 110.4. 110.6, I think, is a lot in an hour and 15. Yeah, I think 110.6 is a lot. I think the wick high, you got a good chance of that happening. But let me actually have a quick look at the economic calendar, because I think that's why you're asking for an hour and 15 minutes, because there might be some news coming out. Okay, I don't see any news. Unless it's not my calendar. I do see some USD news, but it's all low impact at 4 o'clock. Consumer inflation expectations, 3-month bill auction. Not really news that I track anyway. But let me have a look at the news for the week. Okay, so we do have Aussie news, consumer confidence at 11:30. Not trading Aussie, so not really too bothered about that. USD PPI tomorrow at 1:30. That's something to keep an eye out for. Wednesday, GBP inflation. If you're looking to trade pound, definitely keep an eye on that. That's at 7 a.m. UK time. In the afternoon, CPI for dollar. That's definitely one to keep an eye out for at 1:30 as well. Thursday, unemployment rate for Aussie. Not really looking to trade Aussie this week, to be honest. So not really something I'm going to worry about. I'm looking to trade pound. I'm looking to trade euro. I'm looking to trade USD as well. So those are the ones I'm mainly focused about. Thursday as well, GBP, GDP. That's at 7 a.m. as well. That could be a bit of one to keep an eye out for. USD with retail sales. Then Friday, retail sales again. Euro CPI. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that 10. And then building permits for USD. So nothing too big apart from maybe CPI for USD on Wednesday. Yeah, that's probably the big one to look out for. Of course, other events could move the market too. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Where was I? Dark Sean got the retracement. I was looking for GJ. Now we'll see how my trade is going. Okay, is that on the 5-minute? Dark Sean, 5-minute for GJ. What's up, LFTJ? What is up? Take a look at the Bitcoin retest buy opportunity. Yeah, like I said, it's at a great place for a buy if we do hold the level. If price can pull back, reject this area, this could be a great place for a buy, and you can really refine your stop loss placement. At the moment, the market is looking extremely bearish right now. So unless we do see some wicks forming and rejecting in this area and see some strong candle closures, then we could very much break through. And hopefully in the next kind of 2-3 candle closures here on the 4-hour chart, we'll know the answer to that, whether price did break through or we did actually start pulling back, forming some wicks and turning around. So yeah, it's a great place for a buy 100%. I know things look bearish now. They could change very quickly, so I'm not going to rule that out. But if you do see it on the daily candle, price really closing below this with some oomph, with some momentum and some distance, then yeah, the buys are not looking good anymore. And again, not to say that you can't catch buys for Bitcoin. Sure, there might be some upside for some pullbacks, but I do expect the bigger move to be to the downside at that point if we do break support. So yeah, it's a great place for a buy. Just need to see if we can form some wicks now and see some rejection. Otherwise, I'll get out of the way because Bitcoin might want to keep falling. And if it is a successful break of that level of support, the next big level I've got for Bitcoin is all the way back down at 73K. So yeah, not looking too good if that does go and break. Is BTC going to break support? It looks like it. Again, things can change quickly. I know this candle's looking very bearish in the 4 hour and the hourly, but I mean, it's about to close in the next 38 minutes, but it can turn around pretty quickly. I've seen that happen a few times, especially market like BTC. Or it could even close twice as bearish as well. So yeah, it looks like it might be breaking, but yeah, I'll wait for candle closures before having my final judgment. I've known from mistakes in the past, judging a candle when it's open is one of the worst things to do because there's a good chance that that candle could be even more bearish or actually flip bullish or vice versa. And then it just changes your whole kind of analysis. So yeah, I always try to work on closed candles. So until that candle closes, I won't put out a final judgment. Yeah, 100% is looking bearish right now, but things can change. All right, okay. I just thought because 115 from now is 12:30. I was like, okay, there might be some news now. So I was just wondering. Jay Smith, what is up? Hope you're well. Nas in buys going long. Okay, interesting. We are breaking support there. Is that like a intraday trade there, Jay Smith, or are you looking for a swing position? Okay, Darkshon short GJ on the 5 minute. Let's have a quick look and see. Okay, so had a nice reaction on that zone actually. Can't remember if price was in that area before or not. But yeah, had a nice reaction on that zone, looking pretty good. Market's still very bearish, continuing with the low highs. The idea is we're looking for another lower high from this drop here. And if I whip out the old fib, I presume we probably come in at least the 0.5, yeah, even spike to the 0.618. So yeah, looking pretty good there on the 5 minute chart there, pound yen. Expecting a lot more downside. Of course, I'm looking for a much bigger pullback, but I'm trading different time frames to yourself. But yeah, in terms of the 5 minute chart, still looking good. I think if you're looking for a push back down to the lows, you're looking pretty good there. Because the market is still a bit overextended, so I do expect us to have that bigger move to the upside at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of momentum in the market right now, so you don't want to try and force the buys yet. Wait for price to break structure, then we can talk about buys maybe on the 5 minute chart. But yeah, I would say if you're looking at pushback to 109, 190.2, sorry, you're looking pretty good for it. Might even be forming a bit of a head and shoulder pattern here on the lower charts, like the 1 minute time frame. There's your left, there's your head, and there's your right shoulder. That's your neckline. Price can break through that. Could be in the money back into the lows there. So yeah, I like it there. I like it there for pound yen. Again, I don't trade the 5 minute, but it's not a bad setup at all. Okay, swing position on NAS. Okay, I'm pretty bearish on NAS. I mean, not just yet. It needs to break the lows first, and then I will be bearish. But I'll go take a look at that in a second, and I'll go through some crosses. If anyone has any requests, drop it down in the chat. Otherwise, I'll go through some of the crosses and take a look at those pairs. Okay, looking for 70 pips. How many pips is it back into the low? Okay, pretty much 70 pips on the dot. Yeah, you if it gets to that low, you'll get your 70 pips roughly. Okay, so let me look at NAS. So yeah, NAS I'm pretty bearish on. I mean, not confirmed bearish yet, but I'm expecting it to be so. I need this one to go and take out the lows there on the left at 2271. If price can break through the lows there, I'll be pretty bearish on this one because we are forming lower highs, which is not necessarily enough for me to go bearish on. It's a sign that, we are slowing down a little bit, or price is finding a little bit harder to create new highs. But, many times we can just snap through that and continue. So it's not enough for me to be bearish. But the fact is, we're breaking through some more lows here, which is a sign. And then if we go and take out this low, we break in structure. So that, yeah, are we definitely bearish? Now, as I spoke earlier in the stream, I do think the pullbacks look good, lower highs, and then some more downside. So with NAS 100, yeah, if price can get back above this support pretty quickly and give me the impression that this was just a fake out, then I do like the buys from that area. But we need to shoot right back above. See, one big, strong 4-hour candle close. I don't want to see price kind of slowly make its way back up. That's not really a nice sign. If you can see price shoot back above, then sure, I think that's a great place for a buy. Of course, you want to watch out for these lower highs as well. That could be a nice place to book some profits or trade a stop loss, up to you. And yeah, sure, I do expect us to eventually get back to the highs there, 22,100, and continue the trend. But as I said, if we keep falling, take out the lows here, then yeah, the lower highs look good. And again, as long as you manage your risk, yeah, that's the most important thing when you do take your positions. But yeah, since it did break through the support, it's definitely reduced my confidence in the buys right now, unless we get back above it straight away, like I said. I'm not as confident with the buys at all. And of course, seeing other indices as well, US 30 breaking lows too, and of course S&P 500 breaking lows as well. Not really a good sign there. And again, if they do climb back above, it could be some nice buys there too. But at the moment, I fancy a bit more downside. So we'll see how that does how that does develop. All right, take care. Will, have a good one, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you coming on. Don't forget to like and sub, peeps. Appreciate that, Will. If you guys are enjoying the stream and finding it useful, informative, educational, entertaining, anything that is remotely positive, drop a like, show some appreciation. It does really help out. I do appreciate you guys for joining in and leaving likes and subbing to the channel. So I do really appreciate that. And of course, hit the bell whilst you add it too, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But I appreciate it, Will. Take care. Darker Sean. Of course. It'll be easier to trade on the 5-minute chart. 70 pips for me is a 10% account increase. Oh, not too bad. Yeah, of course. If you do have a small account, then it's difficult to take trades in like the 4-hour chart, because if your stop loss is like 100 pips and you're trying to risk proportional amount of your account, you might not even have the small enough lot size to actually do that appropriately. So yeah, for small account, you're probably going to be focused more on smaller time frames in order to grow, and of course the speed of things as well. On the higher time frames, at the 4-hour chart, you might still see a decent move, but that could take 2, 3, 4 days to play out. And if you're trying to grow an account fast, you probably have a bit more luck on the lower time frames there. So yeah, good point. Ping 1337. What's up, natural gas? Made it to first TP. Okay, nice. What are you doing with natural gas? I remember I did look at it for you last week, but didn't know you took a position. You buy and sell and let us know. Oof, would you look at that? That is a lovely move. I'm guessing you're in some buys for natural gas. I remember we talked about the gap fill back here. It was a very weird gap because we gapped down and then we gap back up from the same place back into the same place of the gap. Kind of like we did fill the gap with a gap. Have you ever seen that before? I mean, maybe it's more common than I think it is, because I don't normally look at these type of markets, but pretty weird. A gap fill with a gap fill. But yeah, that's a gap fill with a gap. So yeah, pretty weird. But we did speak about some longs once price came back to this area, and we did have a big reaction. And would you look at that? We went and took out the highs there very aggressively. So yeah, it's looking pretty bullish there for natural gas. That you said price at your first take profit. Where's your second one? Because I would be a little bit skeptical now. If I was long natural gas, say from here, and I got it back to the high, I would definitely be looking at locking in some gains or being a bit more aggressive with my trading stop loss because now we're in uncharted territory. We haven't been here for a very long time. Last time we were here was back in Jan 2023, so a couple of years ago now. And every time we do create some of these highs, we do tend to push right back down again. So now that we've taken our highs there, back into these areas, I do think eventually we'll probably see a bigger move to the downside there for natural gas and a bigger correction. Maybe as we approach this high on the left, we might push down. So yeah, let me know what your second take profit is. I'm interested. How big of a move you're looking for. But yeah, now that we've taken out the highs, now I'll be a little bit more skeptical. Sure, we could still see a lot more upside, 100%. But I would be careful because eventually, sooner or later, I do expect to see this happen. A really big correction. Yeah. So yeah, I do expect to see a pretty big correction at some point. But again, we could push all the way to 4.85 before we do that. So it could still be a lot more upside to take advantage of. But I do expect a bigger pullback at some point. Okay. Long from 8.013 targets about 5. Okay, that's not okay. So you're looking for a push to this area. So yeah, we could see that happen. We could see that happen. Um, like you said, you are managing the trade, so you've got a first take profit, so you have booked some gains there. And of course, I'm sure your target is based on merit, as in you've analyzed and you got targets for a reason there. So of course, see that through. I don't want to talk you out of that. All I just want to say is that price is probably going to have a pretty big move to the downside at some point. Whether it hits 5 or not, that's up to the market. And you never know if it's going to hit your target or not. Even if it looks likely, it still might not hit. But just watch out for that. But the fact that you already booked partial means you already are protecting yourself. So yeah, good luck with that. Let's hopefully we do get to your targets. It's looking pretty bullish. So yeah, hopefully that momentum does continue. Okay, so I'll go take a look at some of the crosses. Hey, what's up, Tony and Gold? London was ugly for me. Oh, you're talking about the session. Talking about the session. I thought you visited London. I said London's uh, was ugly. But yeah, I mean, again, not every session is going to be great. Tony Gold. Again, focus is on the long run. Session to session, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have some great sessions. You're going to have some very ugly sessions, as you're experiencing right now. But the key thing is with everything in trading is risk. Manage the risk well, and the profits will take care of themselves. As long as, of course, you've got an edge in the markets, the edge will take care of itself, and the profits will take care of themselves as well. But you got to manage the risk. You want to have rules in place for how many trades you're taking, how much your match risk is per day or per session. Or per whatever, but have at least some calculated risk for a given time period, so you know if you're exceeding something or not. Because it's all well and good risking 1% per trade, but if you take 100 trades in a day, you're effectively risking your account every day. I mean, the chance of you losing 100 trades in a row is pretty slim, but you are still having that exposure in your account. So you want to make sure you're delegating your risk well. But yeah, as I said, you're going to have losing streaks. You're going to experience losers. Don't get too worked up about it. It's natural. As long as you look back over your trades and you did the right thing, that's all you can do at the end of the day. Remember, traders are made in the drawdown, not in the high times. When when everything's going well and you're in a nice winning streak or your equity curves at new highs, it's very easy to be big man on the block and have a spring in your step. But once you do experience some drawdown, you're giving some profits back to the market. Are you still going to stay consistent? Are you going to still be disciplined? Are you can still follow your plan? That's what separates the losing trader versus the winning one. So yeah, don't take it too hot, too much. So yeah, with some of the crosses, we looked at pound NZD a little bit earlier. Looking at pound Aussie and pretty much looking at the exact same thing with this one, which is again looking at these major high lows, one over there, second, third, fourth, fifth, and now looking at number 6. The area I'm looking for a buy from is probably around this 0.618 area, with a nice high over there on the left, and looking for price to push a little bit deep into that area for a bounce. We've taken out some major highs, as you can see. We took out the major high over there, big reaction, and looks like we're about to take out this high here as well. So expecting another big reaction back down again. So I'm looking at a higher low here for pound Aussie. And I do think we can see a pretty big bounce from this area, but I need to stay patient. So I'm looking for a little bit more downside for this one, and then looking for some upside from this area. It's not my favorite pair, but if I do see structure starting to shift, so let's say we maybe consolidate here, break the consolidation, then look for some retest, that could turn into a really nice position there. So I'll see how it develops over the next couple of days. If it looks good, I'll add it to the watch list. If not, I'll stay away. But it's coming into a very nice area where, again, we could see another bounce on the daily chart and see another higher low. And if that's the case, we could swing right back straight to the high. And you're looking at a pretty good, healthy risk reward there. So it does become a position which I would be interested in. But yeah, we have to show some signs of shifting here. At the moment, still looking pretty bearish. But if you do start to form some higher highs or higher lows, or even, like I said, consolidation, then have a nice breakout of that. That is something I'll look for and hopefully find some entries. But yeah, looking for a big swing back to the highs there for pound Aussie. And pound NZD, pretty much the same thing as well. So looking for this one to see a bit more downside too before looking to buy. If I whip out the fib from the low to the high, again, you see we've got the 0.618 in that area. So that's really where I want to take my buys from, this level. Then again, similar to pound Aussie, want to take it back to the high and maybe higher as well. But I do need to see a bit more downside with this one. In terms of Euro NZD and Euro Aussie, these guys look like a myth at the moment. I don't really know what's happening with them, so I'm staying away. I mean, Euro NZD looks like it's just respecting the high of resistance of the range here. So as you can see, this is the high of the range. And down here is the low end of the range. And the market has simply just been rebounding between the top end and the bottom end of this range. And right now we're testing the top. We've had a few daily candles in this area. A few days ago, we had a pretty strong close there. And it looks like price is doing a pretty good job at respecting that zone of resistance. So if we can keep that up, there's a good chance we do take a big drop here back down to 1.75 and potentially further. So it's not a bad opportunity in terms of, okay, let me take advantage of a range here, short the high, buy the low. If it does play out, I could be looking at a really healthy swing. If it doesn't, I'll stop out and move on to the next position. In terms of the risk you're taking for the potential reward, it does make a load of sense. So if you're looking to find some range play, I think this is not a bad opportunity. If you're looking for trending conditions, then of course this is not the market you want to be looking at. I know we've seen a bit of a trend here on the lower time frames, sure, but now we're trending into a range high. Not the time and place to be looking to find continuation. So yeah, Euro NZD, I can make some sense of that. Euro Aussie looks even worse. Nope, that's Euro USD. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, this is Euro Aussie. Yep, that's the daily chart. So this one looks even worse. You can just look at the market there. It looks extremely flat. Again, you can probably call these the equal highs up here. Great. And then you've got some really powerful support down here. Great as well. Retest it once, second, third time. And yeah, the market has been bouncing from that, but now we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, okay, we are respecting some resistance here on the left. But again, not really building up a lot of confidence of what price is doing. You know, are we trending down potentially? But overall, the market is just flat, really. So I'm staying away. But if we are going to hold on to this level, it could be a big sell from there. Similar to Euro NZE, selling from the range high to the low, could maybe see us sell from this level back to the low again. But it's not a market I'm looking at. It's not on the watch list. It's doesn't really fit the plan pretty well. But yeah, it looks like we've had a really corrective move here over the past few days, especially from such an impulsive move there. And the fact is we're respecting a pretty big level. So I would expect to see continuations lower. But yeah, that's about it for Euro, Aussie dollar. Not my favorite pair at all. As I said, with Euro pound, I like this one. It's on the watch list. It not often is, but at this moment in time, it looks really good. It's taking out structure to the left very well, having some really nice momentum, coming from a nice double bottom. I do think I can go for some buys here and look for the next higher low. Lovely breakout to the upside, a load of momentum there on that push. So now just looking for a pullback, retest the high, find some entries in that area. And let's see if I can push it back to where we came from, which is back at 0.4471. So that's the plan there with Euro Pound. Aussie New Zealand dollar, a pair which I'm keeping an eye on. I do like this one, but it's taking its sweet time to actually develop into what I want to do. And at this rate, it might not do that either. But the plan again for Aussie New Zealand dollar is I want to see a pullback of this bullish leg. So I want to see price come back and retest that 0.618 area. I did miss the original buy there a few weeks ago when it did set up, but if price can get there again, that'd be great. I'm looking at this bullish trend line here, connecting the lows. So one over there, second over there. And I'm hopefully looking to see if we can get another push back into that same area, get the double bottom test, but the third test of the trend line. And hopefully from there, we can ride it back to highs and so on and so forth. But to me, it looks pretty bullish. Looks like we're taking out highs here, and we might be starting to build up a nice uptrend and possibly eventually come back to the highs down the left. So that's really what I'm working here with Aussie New Zealand dollar. And just at the moment, we're just nowhere near that level. And actually, we are seeing pretty okay. I wouldn't say healthy. It's still very corrective, but in respect to Aussie New Zealand dollar, this is actually not that bad. This is a very choppy market. It doesn't really trend that clean. So this is about as good as it's going to get here with Aussie New Zealand dollar. But yeah, if we continue to the upside and break through this high here on the left, then yeah, I don't think I get my opportunity anymore, which will be the retest of this level for the long. I might consider the retest of this area for the long, which has been a pretty sturdy level resistance. Tested once, big rejection, twice, big rejection. Of course, this turned out to be a big fake out. And then again, a few more times after that. So price can break above that level. I think that could be a nice buy. So Aussie, New Zealand dollar, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Could be a trade there. But this is definitely my preferred option. So that's where my main focus will be. And then in terms of the rest of the CHF pairs, you already had a look at New Zealand CHF, Aussie CHF. Of course, I'm trading Euro CHF at the moment. So that is the only trade I've got. And yeah, I'm just looking to manage that. Like I said, if it does break that low, I will look to remove risk. Eric, any trades you're looking at? Do you mean my watch list? Yeah, at the moment, in terms of trades I'm in, is Euro CHF. So I'm shorting this one at the moment. I shorted this one last week, but I've held it over the weekend. So it was being a bit slow. We did move sideways, but NFP has since gone in my favor, and we had a bit of momentum this week as well. So hopefully this does pick up the pace a little bit. But yeah, looking for a push back into the lows there for Euro CHF. And just looking for basically the trend to continue. Very, very simple stuff. But the idea is that I'm looking for trending conditions. I'm looking to take advantage of trend continuation. And that's exactly what we've got here with Euro CHF. And the real benefit of this one is that high time frames are in the same direction. You know, when you're looking at Euro USD or GBP USD, very rarely you get trades where pound is bullish on the monthly, bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, and everything's in sync. With the CHF pairs, these guys have been falling since day one, really. If I zoom to the monthly chart and look at these guys in the monthly, these guys are just falling. So shorts always look good for these guys. The only bad thing is that the swaps are pretty heavy. So when you're shorting them, you're paying swaps. So you want to make sure you win that trade. And of course, in terms of counter trend moves as well, they're not bad too because you get positive swaps. But of course, it's just a bit more difficult to find consistent counter trend options here because they do trend pretty well to the downside. But yeah, Euro CHF's the only one in terms of my watch list, as I mentioned earlier. It's mainly made up out of 3 pairs. There's some other markets I'm looking at, but they need a lot of work. In terms of quality opportunities, pound yen looks really good here. I'm looking for the retest of 194.5 for some shorts. Basically, just the pullback of this bearish leg back into that zone there, and then the short back into the low here, and then eventually all the way back into 180. And I do see price going further, really. Euro yen, pretty much the same move as well. So I'm just going to see which one out of these two gives me a trade and which one looks better, really. But again, looking at the pullback of this bearish leg, retest 162.5, and again, some shorts back into the low there at 157. That very much is the plan there with Euro yen as well. And of course, eventually I do expect these lows to be taken out too. And Euro pound as well is the third one that I do really like. Like I said, really healthy bullish structure, lovely break to the upside. This is like a really nice buy there. And if I can get by, I will look to see if I can ride it back to the highs there, or at least wherever we pull back from. If we do form a top here, then of course that'll be the natural target of the trade, but I would expect us to go a little bit higher and keep doing dodgy circles and keep test the high there as well. So yeah, pretty bullish on euro pound, pretty bearish on pound yen and euro yen. It looks like my bias might be completely shifting to bearish for the yen pairs, maybe apart from dollar yen, because of course USD is still pretty strong. So, and the market structure is still pretty bullish for dollar yen. So I can't really look for sells anyway. But for CHF JPY, CAD JPY, Euro JPY, Pound JPY, it looks like I'm pretty bearish on those. Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, they're still kind of in consolidation. So it looks like they're about to be bearish, but until they break out their ranges, I'm not going to try and trade them. And then, yeah, dollar yen, like I said, still looks pretty bullish. So, yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with the yen pairs. Gold, okay, I'll take a look at that for you. And then I'll finish up on some of the other CHF pairs. Eric, pound CHF, finally we're ready to... Yeah, pound CHF is looking interesting as well. Pound CHF is looking interesting. So yeah, let me go through gold, then I'll go for the rest of the CHF pairs. Okay, so as I said with gold, still not the biggest fan of it, but it does... What's happened there? Oh, I clicked futures. Yeah, so gold, I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but it does look like we are starting to put in some decent bullish structure. Like I said, we do have a range for gold. You know, you got your equal highs up there, your equal lows here. As you can see, we are doing higher highs and higher lows. And yeah, this is the opportunity I mentioned earlier at the start of the stream. Could see a healthy pullback there for gold, 26.60. Nice level for a buy. Take it back into 27.17, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we retest it, sell off, or maybe we break through, have a retest for a buy, and get back to the all-time highs. We'll judge that when we get there. But for now, gold, I would be at least short-term bullish on this one. Healthy bullish structure, decent momentum, breaking the highs pretty well. I don't like it because we're in the middle of a range, but if we're going to keep up this structure, like I said, there's a good chance we're going to push back to the high, and everything's pretty bullish at the moment for gold anyway. So yeah, I do expect us to see a bit more upside there for gold. So keep an eye on the retest 26.60. But yeah, in terms of other CHF pairs, so pound CHF looking really interesting. Really strong move to the downside this morning. Of course, pound being very weak. What do you expect? And it looks like we're right back at the low of the range. So it's actually not a bad place for a short-term buy if that's what you're looking for. Um, we are ready to test all-time lows, looking at weekly candle. I'm just waiting for a 4-hour pullback. Yeah, I really agree with that. I definitely agree. But yeah, at the moment, we've got a range here on the daily chart, and I expect this was to eventually break to the downside. Yeah, that's what I said was the opportunity I was looking for, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, because I did get a trade up here, which unfortunately I just kind of sold a bit too early, really. I shorted up there, caught a nice move, but then it eventually came back and take me out at my entry price. And it tested a few more times before the real sell happened. So it looks like it just entered a bit early. But the original trade I was looking for was the breakout of this range um, for some shorts underneath for the big sell. Because the way I'm looking at um, pound CHF at the moment is that we are putting this high in on the left. Oh, missed it there. There we go. Put that high in there on the left. Lovely drop. Another pullback. Another lower high. Another drop. Lower low from the previous lower low there. And then again, I'm looking at this move as simply just a pullback of that big drop. So again, whipping out the old Fibonacci, we've had a healthy pullback there. And if I connect the dots with the trend line as well, I believe we're testing that too as well, as we can see over there too. So yeah, if price can break outside of this range here, then that's a big sign that says, okay, the sellers are in control, and I'm expecting at least a push back into the low here. Of course, because it's a CHF pair, you would expect it to eventually get back to all-time lows, which actually, funny enough, aren't actually here. The all-time lows for pound CHF are actually all the way down here. I think there's a crazy crash in 1974, 73, something like that. I have no idea what happened, but during that time, price was 0.05, which is crazy. So yeah, that's actually the all-time lows there in 1974. But in recent times, of course, at least from the Russia-Ukraine, first kind of reaction when that got first priced into the market, we had that big sell-off here, and that crashed all the way back down to 1.01. So it looks like we could be seeing that happen again back to those lows, maybe further as well. But at least a push back to let me go to the daily chart. At least the push back into this support level here, just below 1.08, looks really, really likely if we do break the low of the range here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Of course, it's not broken yet. I've been waiting for this range to break on numerous occasions. To be honest, really, I was expecting the breakout to happen after this move over here. I thought we were going to break the lows and continue, and that was back in October, believe it or not. So I've been waiting since October for the breakout of this range. So I've been extra patient. Of course, I did have a stab at it over here, which resulted in break even. But if we can get the break, that'll be great. And then, yeah, this will become a nice level for shorts and retest. And then the goal is just looking for lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour chart. Hopefully, you can ride it back to lows. But yeah, very bearish on pound CHF, which gives me a lot of confidence for Euro CHF as well. Because if pound CHF is going to drop, a good chance Euro CHF is going to drop. These guys do move the same way, really. And if I can get Euro CHF to break even, then I'll be more than happy to enter some more CHF pairs because there's no risk on that trade anymore. At the moment, I wouldn't enter another CHF pair, even if pound CHF did set up, because I don't want to double my risk on the same idea. But if I can remove my risk on one, then I can look to add the other. So yeah, pound CHF is something I'll keep an eye out for. CAD CHF is probably the only CHF pair which I don't really like what's going on with the price action. Yeah, I don't really like this one. For starters, it just looks like a bit of a range to me. I wish I know pound CHF is ranging, but at least that one's kind of like pushed off to a nice height where if it does break outside the range, you've got a clean drop to look at. Even if this one does break the low of the range, coming right back into support there. So it becomes a bit void, really. The whole point of a breakout of a range is that, okay, I'm expecting us to go and hit the next big level, and there should be a lot of momentum in the market. So, pullbacks look good and look to ride that momentum. With CAD CHF, even if you do break to the downside, we're right back in another level again. I'm pretty sure these are the all-time lows for CAD CHF. Yeah, pretty sure they are. If not, they're definitely a major low anyway. So yeah, that's why I don't like CAD CHF. But hey, if you're looking to find a bit of range play, this is not a bad idea. Shorts back at the high again. You can see a solid reaction there too. This could end up being a nice short there for CAD CHF back into the low of the range. And you can look to refine your risk, keep it simple, just above the high, and you've got a decent little trade there back into the low. Again, not really my type of position, but I don't think it's such a bad trade idea, especially if it does play out. You know, you could be 3, 4, 5x of your risk. And that's really it for the yen pairs. I spoke about Aussie CHF briefly as well. I do like this one to the downside, but we do need to break through support here. Until we break through that support level, there's nothing I can do. And I spoke about New Zealand CHF as well. I like this one a lot too. In fact, I'm looking for entries. If we do have a push back up to resistance, I will look for a trade. Otherwise, I just do expect this to keep falling. Okay, Nanad, what is up? I'm doing good, my man. Hope you're well. Thank you for asking. Open a buy position at US30. Okay, I'll take a look at that for you. Yeah. I mean, CAD has been pretty strong, to be honest. CAD has been pretty strong. It's funny because I've been looking for dollar CAD to retrace for a while. But yeah, I've been looking for dollar CAD to retrace for a while. And since CAD has been pretty strong, I thought we're probably going to see a pretty big pullback. But USD's just been even stronger, man. And I kind of do expect that to happen, to be honest, because USD is the big guy in the block, big kid on the block. It runs the show, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it just to persist all the time. But hey, it has lined up some nice opportunities on euro and pound. Okay, so let me quickly take a look at US30. So US30, I'm actually pretty bearish on Nanad. It's broken through some support. I know we're coming back into some major support here on the left, which 100% we could see a bounce from. But because market structure technically broke back over here with that low, that was the low that gave us that high, and since then we've actually broken through. So technically, I'm bearish because structure is broken, at least in the 4-hour try anyway. So until we start to break structure again to the upside, I won't be looking to take any buys. I know this is a great place for a buy, really solid reaction from that. We could see a bounce, but I would only expect the lower high to form. So I'd watch out for something like this happening and then a drop and just price continue with these lower highs as such, and then the market continues. So yeah, I'd watch out for that and then I'm personally looking at a bit more downside for US30. And I want to see if we can break through this and then look for the retest of that area for some more downside. That's my plan at the moment there for US30. It's not a bad area for a buy. I can get it. You know, really strong level of support, area demand. But because we've broken structure and seeing lower highs, I do expect a bit more downside at the moment. Appreciate it, Zach. Yeah, I mean, currency strength comes and goes. Strong now, but you know, maybe at the end of the week it's weak again. I don't think we have CAD news this week though. Maybe some retail sales or something like that, but nothing major that I saw. Anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. If you have found it useful, enjoyed the stream, found it entertaining, informative, educational, please be sure to show some love, drop a like on the stream, and of course, we will, well, I'll very much appreciate it, but it does help out the channel, guys, so I do really appreciate that. And of course, everyone who has done so, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content as well, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. I will be live again tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're free, pop in, say hi. And of course, if you haven't checked out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, make sure you head over, go check it out. Completely free to join. Link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat. You can join discussions there, chat with other traders, chat with myself. I share ideas there. And of course, you can learn a bit more about Elevating Traders if you are interested as well. So head over and check it out. What's up, Tom? Made it for the end of the stream. Hope you're doing well, my man. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you all in the next stream. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll see you guys later.